Hey guys, welcome back to Compass Tutoring. Today, we'll be taking a look at types of reactions, part 1. So, we're going to talk about some basic information about reactions, its components, and the 6 types of chemical reactions. Today, you'll be taking a look at synthesis and decomposition reactions. But before we talk about the types, we need to know what a chemical reaction is. So, a chemical reaction is a process of interaction between elements and or compounds to form new substances with new properties. It involves chemical bonds in reactant molecules to break and bonds in new products to form. This basically means is that this is a process where different elements or different compounds interact with each other. And when that happens is there's new products, new substances that are formed. And these substances have different properties, different characteristics, features, and even looks, which are different than its original reactant. In addition, it means that it involves breaking of the reactant bonds. So the bonds in the chemical reactant basically break down, and the bonds in the new products are formed. So once they break, they kind of wiggle around and reattach with different ones to form new products. Now we can talk about the 6 types of reactions. Number 1, we have synthesis. Number 2, decomposition. Then we have single replacement. Number 4, double replacement. Number 6, neutralization. And last but not least, we have combustion. But before we talk about these 6 types of reactions, we need to know a lot of the basics. And there are 2 components that basically cover these basics in a very good shape. Then here we have reactant and product. So reactant are basically the species of elements or compounds which are consumed or used in a chemical reaction. Whereas products are species which are produced or made in a chemical reaction. As you can see down there in that equation that's lined out, this is a good representation of what a chemical equation of a reaction looks like. So what we have on the left is our reactant, and what we have on the right are the products. Now that we know that, we can go right into the explanation of the 6 types of reactions. So let's begin the 2 most basic chemical reactions that are synthesis reaction and the decomposition reaction. So a lot of times I tend to relate different reactions with each other. I tend to put them in pairs, so that's easier to remember. In this case, I would say synthesis and decomposition reactions are the most basic ones, and they're the most similar to each other. And that is because that they both have one metal and one non-metal, which basically produce one compound. So a synthesis reaction involves interaction between one metal and one non-metal to form one compound. So essentially there's 2 elements kind of reacting with each other to form one compound. You can see here in the general equation where you have A, which is the metal, plus B, which is the non-metal, to form AB, the compound. One of the most famous compounds or well-known compounds that is formed through this reaction is water, or H2O. You can see it here in the balanced equation. 2H2O plus O2 equals to H2O. Although you guys might not know the meaning of those coefficients and subscripts because we will learn that in a later video, this is what a synthesis reaction would look like. You have more examples down there. You have the sodium chloride example where you have sodium, which is being reacted with chlorine, which is another non-metal, to form NaCl, which is sodium chloride. So here is the decomposition reaction. So this reaction basically relates to the word decompose itself. So in this reaction, the compound essentially breaks down itself or decomposes into elements. It's opposite to the synthesis reaction. However, it still includes the same components such as the one metal, one non-metal, and one compound. You can look at this general equation and compare with the general equation of a synthesis reaction. As you can see here, we have AB equals to A plus B, whereas in a synthesis reaction, we would have A plus B equals to AB. It's the same thing, however, it's switched around, the order is switched around. You can also see that in the example provided below, where we have the FeSO4, and which basically breaks down into Fe plus SO4. So this is the decomposition reaction and synthesis reaction video.